Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Mark Hyder. Today we're going to play Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars Director's Cut. As you may not be aware that Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars was the first Broken Sword game released in 1996. This is Director's Cut, things that didn't happen in the original game release. And we're going to play the game now. New game. Like I said, you always check the sounds and speech stuffing and English. And start.
Paris, city of love, romance and dreams. So they say. I used to say it too. But ever since that day, the day of the murder, I've always associated my beloved Paris with death. I was at home having a bath when my editor called.
Collard, get your ass over to the Palais Royal now. You got an interview. With Pierre Carchon. Yes, the Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why. Anyhow, this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
So charming and so very apt. Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero, and one of the most infamous adulterers in Europe. He and his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty. Whoa, I hate mimes, but unless you humor them, they don't go away. Here I was, the palace of the Media King and the Ice Queen. I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Madame, my name is Nicolas. I'm here to see Monsieur Carchon.
Come up, we're on the first floor.
Madame Carchon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure.
The Ice Queen was certainly living up to her reputation. Will you be staying for the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty? You're too kind, madame.
The talented and very beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre, please. But I do not flatter you idly. I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father, he never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death. So tragic. I must... Imelda, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose. Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
You journalists are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame. That was no cat.
God, what? Monsieur Carchon!
He's dead. I must call the police. You'd better stay here.
There was a man. It was the mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
No wonder they called her the Ice Queen. She would have been top of my list of suspects if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple of murders just like this already. One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nico Coulard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops? Or start my own investigation? It was a no-brainer.
Alright, I just gotta check something. Okay, no subtitles. Oh, here we go. Subtitles. Yes, alright.
Mimes and guns don't usually go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer before, and written about him. The costume killer, at least that's what I'd called him. I closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow. It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact. It must have fallen when I was knocked down. Some people hate searching corpses for clues. Me, I'm okay with it. Reminds me of an old boyfriend. In his pocket, I found a ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. Taking the ticket meant I tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now. Carchon had been shot. A small round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This was a professional job. I didn't want to cut myself and leave blood on the glass. Call me old-fashioned, but I like to keep my DNA to myself.
Okay.
The killer must have used a ladder to reach the window. He was long gone. Guess he folded that ladder up, popped it in his pocket and took it with him. A bust of Pierre Carchon, humble servant of La France.
Come on, Nico.
The
Okay.
bookcase was filled with obscure first editions.
Okay.
Pierre Carchon again. His eyes seemed to follow me around the room. Pierre Carchon was stiff for the last time. I opened his eyes. Best to leave the crime scene as I found it. I closed his eyes. The police could turn up at any minute. Somewhere there were clues to the murder, and I needed to find them. It was a tube of acrylic paint. French ultramarine. Just the color I was after for my bathroom.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Someone is...
Young lady, what are you doing? Oh, this paint. It's my favorite color.
For God's sake, keep the damn stuff.
Imelda had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that. Excuse me, madame.
Yes?
I am so sorry for your loss, madame.
No, you're not. You're a journalist. Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not true.
We shall see.
Why did your husband send for me? What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
No. And frankly, I preferred it that way.
How did your husband know my father?
I have no idea.
You didn't know him? Thierry Coulard?
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
Why would a mime want to kill your husband?
Pierre had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start. This is quite a scoop for you. I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronize me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
Yes, that's why I do this job.
You do it to see your name in print.
As if my editor gets the byline, I just do the work.
Well, don't expect my sympathy.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No, I have no family. Pierre and I were... He was all I had, really. Not much, was it? The dutiful wife. That was my role.
Yes.
He never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who killed your husband, then you let me do the job, not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
Your husband invited me here today because he needed me. I think he knew somebody wanted to kill him, and he knew I could help.
I doubt it was your database he was after.
You're wrong. I was onto his killers already, I am sure of it. Please, you owe it to him.
I don't know.
All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come.
You really do have a moral sense, don't you? I trust so few people. And perhaps Pierre really did think that you could help. Of course it wouldn't have stopped him seducing you too. Here, take this. It's the key to the drawing room next to the library at the end of the hall. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might find.
True.
Thank you. I promise you won't regret this. There was no one I needed to phone. Not until I had solved this case. A Louis XIV table with an antique cloth. Imelda had taste. But hey, with a husband that rich, taste is easy. I reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful. Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole. The door was locked.
Open sesame.
Now we were getting somewhere. As expected, the desk was yet another priceless antique. Yawn. The blotter and in tray had clearly been placed with mathematical precision. I didn't want to take the tray, but I knew that I could use it. I didn't need a sheet of blotting paper. Not while it was blank. My heart skipped a beat. It was a carved elephant. But not just any carved elephant. It had been made by my father. I knew for certain because in my apartment I had its exact twin, carved into a box he had made. So Cochon had known my father. They really must have been friends. I decided to take the carved elephant. It clearly meant nothing to Imelda.
The painting showed the Cachons together, in love. As the poet said, the past is a different country. Or did I read that in a fortune cookie? There was the very faintest of clicks. Behind the picture was a safe. The safe was locked. I needed the key. The safe's lock was too secure for me to pick. How come it always works in movies, huh? It was the wrong kind of key. No. No.
Okay.
Locked. Not surprising, really. Locked. Locked. Not surprising. It didn't work, but I guess it would have been surprising if it had. This wasn't the time for me to lie on the sofa doing my Marie Antoinette impression, though it is very popular at parties, especially with gay guys. Don't ask me why. I didn't need the lights on. It was light enough already. The safe was...
Okay.
I smeared the paint all over the cloth. When I do messy, I really like to put my heart into it. I hoped this was going to help. They don't make lace like that anymore. The cloth was covered in blue paint. I hoped that I hadn't ruined it for nothing. The ticket could be a clue. So, best not to trash it. No. No. No.
No. Let's have a check.
No. The cloth would get paint on the tray, but not enough for what I needed. I'd spread blue paint over the bottom of the tray. It was ruined. I was a very bad girl, but also quite a clever one. I didn't want to take the tray, but I knew that I could use it. In a way, I was going back to art school. I didn't need a... No. The no.
Okay, I need to look for something now.
A magnificent antique table. A medieval pageant. Original, no doubt. The tapestry must have cost a fortune. The tapestry must have... Even my feet...
Okay.
Aha! Nico, you are just so damn good at this stuff. Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her flat. Why? Because there was something going on here, and I had to get answers before the cops arrived. And hey, she'd been rude to me, so she had it coming. No. 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 It was a sheet of blotting paper in a leather holder. Its cracked surface looked ancient, reminded me of its owner. It was a sheet... No. No.
Safe. Open sesame, and let's try this one.
In the safe was some kind of artifact. There were strange symbols on its surface. It looked like the printer's blocks I'd made at art school. If there was one thing I'd learned about symbols, they are always important. But these symbols scratched into stone were impossible to read. I needed to find a way of printing them. At least the stone was round. But what could I use for ink? And what could I print on? Sure, I was stealing, but I knew Imelda didn't know about the artifact, and Carchon was past caring. I wiped the paint-covered cloth over the surface of the stone cylinder. It took me right back to art class at school. And Maurice, my gorgeous art teacher. Such a shame they had to fire him. Ah well. Concentrate, Nico, concentrate. No. Genius! The roller and the pen worked just as I planned. But what did it say? It was some kind of coded message. It read, sub judice. I may not have learned a lot as a journalist, but that was a term I knew well. It means a legal case that is before the courts. Below it was a sequence of letters that made no sense. I suddenly realized there was a connection between the boat ticket and the coded message. The boat ticket was stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. The conciergerie on the Ile de la Cité, by the river, housed the ancient law courts. So, sub judice could in this case mean literally under the law courts, below the conciergerie. I was pretty sure I'd found all I could here. And besides, all this opulence was making me pine for my regular life of poverty. This was a huge story.
True.
It was also one heck of a puzzle with a lot of pieces missing. But I was going to crack it. And if I could just remember the name of that fancy prize you get for being an ace journalist, I was definitely going to win it this time. I rolled the artifact in the paint until it was completely coated. An antique tray with paint spread all over it. Not a lot I could do with that. No. No. The tray was already ruined.
Alright.
Did you find anything useful?
This carving. Do you know anything about it?
It was Pierre's. What does the statue have to do with...
Please, I need to know.
He was given it by a friend. Something to do with Africa.
He never explained any more.
No. But I think it was important to him. Always on display. Why?
It was carved by my father.
Oh, I see. I didn't know.
Imelda, I will do everything I can to find the killer.
Thank you, my dear.
And if the police ask,
Don't worry. You were never here.
sub judice was the key. I was going to have to find a way under the conciergerie.
I decided to head straight for the quayside on the Ile de la Cité.
If there was a way of getting under the conciergerie, it would have to be from there. Canchon wasn't the type for messing about on the river. He was up to something down here. Something that got him killed. The fence wouldn't move. This fence wouldn't move either. I wasn't leaving yet. I had a hunch there was more to find. The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. It was embroidered on the lace cloth I'd picked up at Carchon's apartment. I knew I was on the right track. I tried pushing the fence, but it wouldn't move. A strange pair of locks stopped the latches from releasing the gate.
Right, first of the mini games that you have to complete to be able to open the door. Because you have to get this right.
Yes. One down, one to go.
Okay, that one's always easy. It's this one can be a bit of a thing. As you can see.
you got a can that you haven't opened?
No, I haven't.
Alright. What's happened to the wheel?
Wheel?
I like these sort of games.
Where's Broken Sword?
It doesn't look like a sword. Mark,
Yeah.
you need to put that one across a bit.
Mm.
That one there. Drop your cursor. See that one on the left hand side?
Yeah, I'm trying to get things down at the moment, Tim.
Got a rubbish bag.
No, I haven't.
Nothing like a good convent education for honing your lockpicking skills. For a room full of junk, that was one very sophisticated lock system. This place was definitely fishy, in more ways than one. Oops. The words sinister and Dexter were carved on either side. Now any good convent girl like me knows the old Roman for left, right, right. But what did it mean here? The hole was too small even for my little hand. Mystery solved. Carchon's stone cylinder slotted into the hole with a satisfying click. No handle, nothing obvious, but there had to be a way to open it. Rolling out the painted cylinder had given me a print of a secret message. It read, Sub Judice. Below it was a sequence of letters, SDSS SDSS. A satisfying click told me I turned it to the right position. It felt like tumblers in a safe. Another click, another step closer. I made a mistake, the lock reset. A satisfying click told me I turned it to the right position. It felt like tumblers in a safe. And oh no! I had to start again. Another click. Rolling out, it read. Rolling out
Left,
the painted cylinder
right,
had
left,
given me a
left,
print
right.
of a secret message. It read, Subjudice. Below it was a sequence of letters. SDSS, DSS.
Left. Right. Left.
I love the sound of locks clicking open. An old shell case. I wondered what that was doing there. Moving the skiff would only damage it more. I really didn't want to pull the fence back up and risk trapping myself in this place. Oh my God! The slab came down with a hell of a force. With nothing to hold it up, the cross dropped back down again. Lifting the cross closed the entrance door and also opened some kind of stone panel. Ingenious. The stone cross was propped up. Now I was getting somewhere. I touched the slot. Nothing bad happened, which was good. I've always been attached to my fingers. This slot was designed for something specific. But what? A round slot precisely carved into the stonework. A round slot. No way would I be able to force the door open.
No.
The cross was firmly propped up. I removed the shell case. The panel was firmly closed. A round slot precisely carved into the stonework. I removed the shell case. Ut lex vel ut next sumito. To the law or unto death, submit. I guess these people didn't believe in liberté, égalité, or fraternité. Yes, I'll admit it. I was a swot at school. I also wore lipstick and the nuns never knew. I removed the stone cylinder.
No, we're not. What we need to do is cap. And
The artifact slotted into the hole perfectly. Behind the old walls, I could hear some kind of mechanism groaning into life, but whatever had been triggered had now jammed. The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open. The gap was... I needed a hidden door. This was getting interesting. Shame the mechanism jammed. I was going to have to find a way to prise it open. I removed the shell case. The cross didn't drop back down. Some kind of mechanism was holding it up. The gap was too narrow. I needed something. The gap was too... The cross didn't drop back down. Some kind...
What I do?
I removed the shell case. No way would I be able to force the door open. No. No. The cross didn't drop back down. I wasn't leaving. I'd already unlocked the door. The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. A hidden door. This was getting interesting. Shame the mechanism jammed. No way. The gap was too thick. I needed some. No. 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 I was going to need something a lot stronger than a hair clip to free the door. The cross was firmly propped up. I removed the shell case. The cross didn't drop back. No. 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 The gap was too narrow. I needed something flatter to work into it. Ut lek
I really didn't want to pull the... It was almost as if the fence was intended to double as a bridge. Moving the skiff would only damage it more. I'd wrecked the skiff. Not that it was particularly seaworthy anyway. I'd already... A rough hole was cut into the pillar. No. This fence wouldn't move either. The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. I removed the shell case. If I was going to get a closer look at the panel, I'd have to find a way of keeping the cross up. The stone slab had flattened one end of the shell case. I removed the shell case. Another good use for a shell case. Another secret room. Somebody had something to hide. But was it what I was looking for? Wow! Through the darkness, I could see that this was a stateroom. But for what purpose? And how did it tie
Oh!
to Carchon?
When can you give me that 40, that 20?
I don't know yet, Tim.
I just knocked your door.
I'm doing a live stream at the moment.
Amazing. The thing still worked. The room lit up bright as day. It was an old circuit breaker, like something from a Frankenstein movie. A door like that always has something important behind it. I had to find a way to unlock it. That wasn't going to help. I wasn't going to find anything in this old desk. It hadn't been used for years. Inside the drawer, I found a note written in some kind of code. It was pretty clear from the lack of dust that someone had been working very recently at this desk. The dregs at the bottom of the mug hadn't dried out or gone moldy. It wasn't more than a day old. Oh my God! The sheet was a printout with my personal information. Everything from my favorite food to my waist size. They were right about chocolate, but come on guys, I'm a size 10. There was even a picture of me, taken with a telephoto lens. Carchon wouldn't have taken these pictures himself. This was big and organized. I was part of it, and people were getting murdered. This was the article I'd written about the costume killer. My suspicions were right. Carchon had cut it out. 2 businessmen had been killed. One in Italy, one in Japan. In each case, the killer had worn a costume, a penguin, and then a snowman. But that wasn't the only link between the 2 murders. Both the victims had been big media do-gooders, and I proved they were just the opposite. So, how did they fit in with Carchon? The flags had faded, but their message was still pretty clear. Fascist regalia, a message of hate.
Right, there's the code I do now. Right, it's some sort of code. Try, see what that E is? E. It's not in use.
good at pronunciation names?
Don't know.
Yeah. President of Madagascar.
Trying to work out something, Jim.
I know, but look.
Right.
That's his name.
What's that for?
Him? That's his full name.
What's his name?
Henry Marshall, you've got to say it.
Oh my gosh. No. I don't know what to do at the moment. And let's see. See, see, that looks like a double L. Oh. Oh. A.
This is on the suitcase. Yeah, I know.
I've lost weight since America. Well, that's one of the plans when I was first. Lost weight to come back to America. Come on, shoes and the big bag. I know, you fell over. She tells me
I have decrypted the note. It read, Pierre, full report to follow. But this is too urgent to wait. Arno and Yamada both dead. This is not a coincidence. Indeed, it seems that all of us who came together in July are in danger. Take great care. X. I wasn't the only one to make the connection between the costume killer murders. I'd been right all along. That was why he had asked to meet me. But what did I know that he didn't? A door like that always has something important behind it. I had to find a way to unlock it. That wasn't going to help. A slot next to the safe door. All I had to do was find something to fit into it. It was like being back in kindergarten. All I needed now was a shape that would fit the slot. That wasn't... I wasn't going to find anything in this. The cross. I wasn't leaving yet.
What?
Turning the lights off wasn't going to help. That was more sensible. I wasn't go- I had decrypted the note. It read, Pierre, full report to follow. But this is too urgent to wait. Arno and Yamada both dead. This is not a coincidence. Indeed, it seems that all of us who came together in July are in danger. Take great care. X. I wasn't the only one to make the connection between the costume killer murders. I'd been right all along. That was why he had asked to meet me. But what did I know that he didn't? My articles about the costume killer. My article. One thing was clear. Someone connected to Cauchon had been watching me. The congealed coffee wasn't appealing. Don't you just hate it when that happens?
Before I take them to the cleaners. Alright. Now when I take them, do you just want them repaired or do you want them to dry clean?
A photo, long lost, had fallen down the back of the drawer. It was very old, but there was no mistaking the guy in the foreground. Cauchon. Behind him were soldiers, a burning village and a corpse. The photograph was cropped on the right-hand side. Somebody else in the picture obviously didn't want to be in it anymore. I wasn't surprised.
What do you think?
This was Africa in the 60s. An uprising was being brutally suppressed. And here was Mr. Media himself, Cauchon, doing the suppressing. The photograph was not just powerful evidence. It was also my ticket to one explosive story. I had enough for a story. An amazing story that was going to make my reputation and blow Cauchon's to pieces. I needed to get home fast and start typing.
Where she is? So, hello.
Bonsoir, Collard.
Nico, it's Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, you cracked open the champagne yet?
Are you crazy?
What's wrong? Wait a minute. You didn't print it, did you?
Of course I didn't print.
That's the best piece I've written.
The last, as far as I'm concerned.
It's important.
It's suicidal. You can't destroy a national hero.
He deserved it.
His corpse isn't even cold.
Ronnie, 2 hours ago I told you what I'd found. You loved it. You begged me to write it up immediately.
2 hours is a long time in newspapers, Nico.
Someone's got to you, haven't they?
Listen up, Nicole, and listen good. Pierre Cauchon had a lot of friends, powerful friends. For your own sake.
Forget what happened.
You got it. End of conversation. Good night.
This should have been my big break, but I knew there was nowhere else to sell this story. If Ronnie wouldn't print it, nobody would.
Bonsoir, Cola.
Mademoiselle Collard, my name is Plantard. I need to talk to you about your story. Your Pierre Carchon story.
How did you know about that?
There are people out there, madame, who will be very upset by this story.
Oh, really? Well, it's their lucky day. It's been spiked.
Yes, I know. We must meet.
We must?
I have information relating to your costume killer stories. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Café de la Chandelle Verte, Rue Alain Court. I shall be wearing a grey overcoat. You must talk to no one about this.
You can't tell me what to...
Tomorrow at 8. I'll be waiting.
People complain about newspaper articles all the time, but not usually before they're printed. I was beginning to feel scared.
Really
This guy,
scared.
Plantard. Could I trust him? Should I meet him or forget the whole business? I didn't have an answer.
I'd only been in Paris for a week, but already I'd fallen in love with the city. My latest discovery was a little cafe, La Chandelle Verte. I was pretty sure the waitress was taking a shine to me. That old Stobart charm, I guess. Little did I know my reverie was about to be so rudely interrupted. As I picked myself up, I was really angry. 1 minute I'm on vacation, the next minute some clown's blown me up. I knew right away what I was gonna do. I was gonna find that clown and bring him to justice. Because justice matters. Justice is up there with liberty, and equality, and, fraternity. After all, that's why I'd studied law, wasn't it? Well, that, and the money, of course.
But that will be end of that story until next time on Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars, Director's Cut. Thank you for your time, and I hope you liked this first episode, and I will see you soon. Will you later.